Hey, welcome to Caching in the Northwest, where the women love the way I dance. This is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific. They call me Chris of the Northwest, and we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're checking the state of the onion, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Onion, garlic, all those wonderful spices.
It was the state of the onion address today.
Ah, yes. Well, tonight we're not talking about that. We're talking about spring cleaning and a couple of all different aspects of what's going on there. You know, we're supposed to spring forward the clocks this weekend, and the first day of spring is just around the corner. And
the spring forward clock setting is no fun.
No.
I don't like that one.
I don't like either one of them. Just leave them alone. Standard time is standard for a reason. That's how it should be. Just God intended. You know, noon, sun overhead, directly, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, live audience, jump in the chat. Tell us what you think about spring cleaning, or I guess whatever you want, really. You know us. We roll with all kinds of stuff that goes on in the chat, and we love seeing you have fun amongst yourselves. We like hearing what you have to say, and you contribute so much to this show. But first, well, let's take just a moment for a reminder that we appreciate the support of our patrons. You know, they help keep this podcast coming each and every week. I'd like to offer a special thanks to Land Sharks. That is LANDSHARKZ. One of our corporate Denali level sponsors. You can check out all of their wonderful geocaching goodness at landsharkswithaz.ca, or you could visit their store in person if you're in the Esquimalt area. They've got all kind of great stuff. And remember, they ship online orders daily. Our other corporate Denali level sponsor, well, that would be Gold Country Geotourism. You can visit exploregoldcountry.com to learn more about the geotour, the region, and they have an awesome app. So don't forget to download that. Check it out at exploregoldcountry.com or facebook.com/exploregoldcountry. And if you, dear listener, or anybody else in the sound of our podcast would like to know more about supporting this show, click the Patreon link on the cachingNW.com website.
So then if you're within listening range of the podcast, then maybe turn it up a little bit and let other people hear.
There you go.
You know, when people pass me on the freeway and I get to hear their music, I think, what nice people they're sharing.
They're very generous sharing.
You could do the same. Yeah.
See if you can get everybody at the bus stop to bob their head at the same time.
I don't think it'll happen.
Oh, well.
Everybody's dancing to their own beat.
If you do make it happen, make sure you record it and send it to us.
Oh, please do. Hey, but something you can do is send us a glow. You may ask, what is a glow?
I could ask. I may ask. I will ask.
Will you ask? Okay.
Hey, what is a glow?
Thank you for asking. I mean, that was just so spontaneous. It's touches my heart. That's why I need surgery, but that's a different question. It's the geocaching log of the week. Whether you wrote it or whether you read it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. You can send an email or a recording to feedback@cachingnw.com. No, yes, that's right. Feedback@cachingnw.com.
It's been so long since we've received anything. He's forgotten what the address is.
What is the address?
Bury his inbox with interesting glows.
Ooh.
Won't you?
I dare you to bury my inbox. I dare you to call into 253-693-TFTC and show us just how you glow.
All right. Well, let's see. This week's glow, it's KC Searchers. And I think this is a leap day find. It says February 29th, 2020. Number 29-914 GeoArt. I'm not sure.
It's quite a title for a cache.
I don't know. You can find out exactly what it's called at GC8 Kilo Quebec Hotel Zulu. And this one was found by Limex.
Hi, Limex.
So the fact that there were a bunch of numbers in that caching name doesn't surprise me at all now. It all makes sense. And this log was posted, it says here, March 1st. So, leap day plus one.
It's pretty fresh log, right?
Yeah. It's for generous definitions of leap day. It could be a leap day cache, but it's leap day somewhere. Anyway, short but sweet. He says, since the new set of caches came out yesterday, and I assume that's part of the Geo Art series they referred to here in the title, I decided I should probably get a move on getting the last set finished. Drove up to get this one between rain showers, although I found that was a mistake. Parking at ground zero, well, it was a muddy swamp. Undaunted, even though I wasn't dressed for it, I went after the cache and was able to locate it quickly and get the letter. Getting back out proved to be a chore with a muddy shoulder, but I managed. Not an experience I will forget soon.
Well,
carry a towel in your car.
Showers. And apparently it even works in Southern California. Northern California, where the Limax is.
Yeah, south of us.
South of us. That's thus California to the south. Folks, if you want to get in tonight's show, use the hashtag spring. Boing, that kind of spring, or spring like the weather, because that's really what we're talking about. But use that to get into tonight's show. Use the hashtag spring. And of course, you can use the hashtag FATAS to bring up something for the after show. Thus, the whole FATAS bit.
Indeed. And I see that Brian not only asked, what is a glow? He also asked, what is a Limax?
I don't know what a Limax is. Does the Limax have anything to do with trees?
Well, he's a contributor to the glow and
that's right,
patron of the podcast, and
he must be a protector of the caches.
That must be what it is. A little stone circle that says unless. All right. Well, I mentioned spring forward, first day of spring, all that kind of stuff. This is the time of year for all that stuff. It also is, well, it's March, so it's the March equinox. Some may ask, what is an equinox? No, they're not going to ask that.
The equinox is, of course, a Chevy vehicle.
Yes, right. Now, the equinox marks a moment of balance in the Earth's orbit with nearly equal amounts of daylight worldwide. So, how a lot of the year it's more sunny in the northern hemisphere or vice versa at different times of year. This one is pretty equal amounts. In fact, if you look at one of those cool little charts that I like to have with the daylight shadows that shows the Earth all flattened out, and it's usually like a big sine wave, it just becomes kind of a real fuzzy square at this time, right in the equinox. Kind of cool. So, but it symbolizes transition. It's making the start of spring in the northern hemisphere, the start of autumn in the southern hemisphere, and around the world it's celebrated as a time of interconnectedness. Reminds us of our shared experience, all of us logging DNF. Regardless of hemisphere.
No, you had it right.
Okay, yeah. So whether you will celebrate a spring equinox like us up north or an autumn equinox down in the south this March, you can plan to include geocaching in your equinox celebrations and, get this, earn a souvenir. People do like them souvenirs. So, as I mentioned, it's a time of change. The equinox happens twice a year. This is the March equinox. The other one's in September, I believe, when the sun shines directly over the equator. Because the Earth has a tilt to its axis as it orbits the sun, that gives us our seasons. But right at this time, it's just right there. You get equal. So a certain point in the orbit, neither the North Pole nor the South Pole is tilted toward the sun. They're kind of just tilted along,
23-degree axis.
23? I didn't think it was that much.
Why I remember that, I don't know.
I don't know. I had 12 in my head, but sometimes 3 sticks in my head, and I'm just, not scientific enough to memorize it, but it'll probably come up in the chat soon because stuff like that tends to happen here. So anyway, this celestial event helps us understand more about our planet and its journey around the sun. So HQ created a souvenir.
as they are wont to do.
I bet you want to know how to earn that souvenir, don't you?
I would love nothing more.
Okay, so there are 2 equinoxes, so you must find 3 geocaches. No, I didn't. Okay. Anyway, you have to find a total of 3 geocaches, event caches, and or adventure lab locations. So you could find an adventure lab with 5 spots in it, have extra ones.
Overachieve.
Yeah, overachieve that. Or, go to 3 events. That could be fun. Because you've got between March 17th and March 23rd to do it. So you could hit 3 events easily.
Mm-hmm.
There were people that hit 3 times that many events on Leap Day alone.
On one day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, of course, the area that you live in has to have that many events for you to attend. But
and they wouldn't have counted for the souvenir.
Right.
But it was done nonetheless.
Yeah. So March is the 3rd month of the year, so you find 3 caches. So
that's where the 3 came from.
Wonder if in September you'll have to find 9. Who knows? And September, Sep meaning 7.
7. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, would have been the 7th month of the year, and it was the 7th month of the year until Julius Caesar and Augustus Caesar needed July and August crammed in the middle of the year. But nobody's bitter about that.
Not them. They won. Hey, folks, it is contest time. We are in the middle of a contest right now. Does it seem like it? Can you feel it?
I'm feeling something.
If you want a chance to win great prizes, all you have to do is help us out. Post a positive review on a podcast hosting platform, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all those other ones that I can't pronounce and get out of my mouth right now, like Spotify. I don't know where that one came from. Wherever you download the Caching in the Northwest podcast, it helps us out enormously. It really does. It helps the algorithms promote the podcast a bit more. And yes, it does cost you a little bit of time, hopefully a little bit of creativity. So let's reward you for all that effort and your support. Leave a helpful review on the service where you download the Caching in the Northwest podcast. Then share a screenshot or link the review in any of your socials. That could be Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, X, whatever it is. Along with the contest hashtag, I love CNW. It's only 8 letters. The I in the love. And then you toss in CNW. And you're automatically entered. You could win a gift from Land Sharks or Tony's Coffee. And who doesn't need more coffee in their life? So we've got posts like on our Facebook, on our YouTube from people like Greenwords. I forgot. That says, thanks, guys. Well done. Very informative. Can't wait for the next one. And just Carlos says, so sad I missed this live. Thank you, Marcellus, for your log. So that was our episode. What was that? 2 back, Geocaching While Black.
Oh, yes. Marcellus was here. That was a fun show. Seemed to have been well received. Heard some comments on that.
Yes. So there you go.
By the way, Brian needs coffee daily. As does MC3 Cats. Mm-hmm. And, I made my own little research department while you were talking there. And yeah, Earth's axial tilt, also known as the obliquity of the ecliptic, is about 23.5 degrees. So
I always thought I was a little ecliptic and somewhat oblique.
Well done, you.
I was off by half a degree.
Well, it's within the margin of error.
Okay. Apparently I need some coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I do need caffeine.
All right. Well, hey, I know we've chatted about it. I poked at it, but yes, if you're listening to this prior to this coming weekend, it is the 7th of March as we record this. Don't forget to turn your clock forward on Sunday. Mm-hmm. You can do it Saturday night before you go to bed. You don't have to stay up until 2 a.m. Sunday. But I think somebody probably out there somewhere has a geocaching event for 2 a.m. Sunday just because.
How about 1 a.m. Sunday? 1:30?
If you make it to 1:30, then your event runs till 3:30. And it was only an hour event.
That's right.
So it's a good reminder, a good time with the equal times of daylight and everything, and change your smoke detector batteries. And hey, maybe go out and get some geocache maintenance done on your hides if you can get to them, if they're not buried in snow. Check that log sheet, get the container, and make sure the seal's good. It's not getting moisture into your container and turning your log sheet into mush. All those kind of things. Hide it well. Maybe brush the rust off the lamppost skirt, things like that.
That's right. Slap a new coat of paint on.
Yeah.
I went and did maintenance, maybe a couple of weeks ago now on all my geocaches at one time. Yeah, all three of them. It wasn't that bad, but you're driving across town, and it was funny because 2 out of the 3, the container was, not where it was supposed to be. And both of them out in the open rather than hidden to where they were supposed to be. So I put them back. So yeah, go give them a little love, right? As the temperatures warm up, we're going to get more and more geocachers going out there and finding your caches. So give them a little love. Everybody loves it. Oh, there you go.
Hey, Heather did it.
Heather checked on the logs in 2 of my caches before coming up here today. And she said where up here was.
Everett.
There you go.
Yeah, I saw it somewhere back in the chat.
So in case you want to know, she also said her newest adventure lab to go public.
Oh, go check that one out.
We'll have to find out which one that is. But not only your caches can you freshen up, perhaps you need to freshen up your geocaching.com profile as well.
Yeah. You can do all kind of fun stuff with that, with a little bit of HTML code, and that's way easier than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
You could, maybe send in a glow. Call 253-693-TFTC. You could get one of these little glow badges like that right there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right in Nova Blue.
It's the color of the year.
Yes, it is.
And voted in by popular demand.
It by a landslide, it was voted in over the others. So there you go. I just came across that in something else. I was looking at, we're looking at paint colors and that. I go, oh, look, Nova Blue's the color of the year. I took a picture and sent it to you guys.
Yeah.
So you could see other people say that.
By the way, Heather's newest adventure lab in Beaverton.
Oh,
her regular home. GSM times 2 also is getting into the maintenance spirit. Checked on 3 of his disabled caches and enabled them.
Oh, just because?
Yeah.
Did you fix them or just enable them?
Well, then disabled 7 of the geocaches that weren't found. So the job never ends, he says, which is a good point. That is, yes, it's a good reminder to get out with the time change and the equinox springtime. But yes, cache maintenance is a job that never ends.
I think GSM times 2 has about a third of the hidden geocaches in the world.
It wouldn't surprise me. He was quite a prolific hider.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. Nervous Energies hit his first ammo can cache today in Bellingham. Rush right up there and find it. I'm sure if it's already hidden today, it's got a first to find.
Yeah, there's something I like about the ammo can caches.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So what else can you do on your...
Oh, sorry. That was up to me now, wasn't it?
We're just chatting here. Oh, you can do your I mentioned the glow badge, which you can earn by sending in a glow. 253-693-TFTC. Who's just saying? Feedback at cachinganddoing.com. But you can also update your cover photo and your bio information. Sometimes I go back and not only on geocaching, but on other websites where I have a profile, and I look and I go, wow, wrote that a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. I learned to use like all 26 letters of the alphabet since then. It's really cool. So I'm using verbs now.
I wrote that in the 70s. I can tell that. Let's go update that. But yeah, so that's easy to do, right? You just click the edit button there on your profile and you go type some things in or update a picture. You maybe turned a little more gray, or in some people's cases, less gray. You never know.
Way more gray in my case.
Yeah, me too. Another tool is the website mygeocachingprofile.com. And I don't know if you remember this page. It doesn't get a lot of love anymore. We'll tell you why in a little bit, but you can go in there, sign up or create an account, upload your pocket finds query, and the site will analyze your caching history. If you're a premium member, you can go download the My Finds, go upload it. You customize your profile by adding information about your caching history, configuring your preferred settings, adding or removing preferred sections, profile sections. You can make changes to your time zone, add your lab cache finds, enter your first finds, all those fun things, and then preview it and see your finished product. You'll also have access to HTML code. That's the key, right? HTML is really what you want to go edit your web page, your profile page.
Yeah.
And then you can use that to display your profile on other websites. If you'd like to share it on your geocaching.com profile page, you can copy and paste that right there. The next time you want to update your stats, you just go upload your latest My Finds pocket query to the file and you're done. So that's a pretty easy one to use. And it gives you a nice display. It's pretty basic.
Yeah. I found it interesting that they noted there that your My Finds pocket query is a special pocket query that contains all of your cache finds history without any limits. Because I think a normal pocket query has limits.
Like to 1,000.
So, yeah. So, I mean, if you're a cacher of my whatever
stature
level, yeah, it's going to download in a few seconds, and there's no, the limits don't really apply. But if you're like Land Monkey, he probably clicked download at Christmas
and still waiting.
Yeah, it'll complete on his birthday sometime or so. I don't know. It's going to take a while. Let's just leave it at that. So yeah, that's some great. I didn't even know about that tool. And if you remember a few years back, there was the mycachingprofile.com site. It was purchased by geocaching.com, and it became known as what we know now as the profile stats page.
Yeah. But there's more on the caching profile my geocachingprofile.com than is in the geocaching stats. Yeah. So if you want a few more stats, that's
I may go check that out just to have fun to play with, something to do at lunch hour at work.
Exactly.
My cup noodles only take so long to eat.
Oh, we may have forgotten to not forget about it's not about the numbers.com.
Is there also a companion site of it's all about the numbers.com? If not,
they probably own both domains. I would.
All right. Well, you talked about stats, and I can't ever think about stats without thinking about project-gc.com or project.gc if you're in the other domain is for sale, Brian Access.
Oh, we should go buy it.
Project GC, well, they do a lot of really cool stuff, but one of the things they do really well is create profile stats. These stats are online generated. You don't have to go download your My Finds Pocket Query GPX file or anything. You don't have to install any software or anything. That makes it 100% Mac friendly, I'm told. And you can add it to your geocaching.com profile in two different ways. If you do it one way, it'll automatically update without any further interaction on your part. It's actively developed. You can expect new modules to pick up with time. It's a great site with lots of stuff. They support FTF tags and logs, over at Project GC. That can that way it'll automatically detect which caches you have been first to find on. You don't have to tag them or make any special kind of HTML markup or anything. And, my favorite part, it's free as long as you have a geocaching.com account.
It's free?
Yeah. And I like it because you don't have to remember a separate login. You just go there and click authenticate, and it bounces over to geocaching.com. You log in with your regular account there, and then it come back.
And you're done.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that is really nice. Hey, let's take a minute to say happy birthday to Komakino. His birthday was on Sunday. Teamed up with a couple of friends and the kid to do some caching on Camaro Island. I know it's Camino Island.
Camino Island, yeah. Yeah. Happy birthday, Komakino. Welcome to your 30s.
It's not so bad to get older. Well, I didn't say it was good either. Okay, let's get back to project-gc.com. There are some pros and cons for using this method to update, right? One of the pros is that once you have it set up, you don't have to do anything else. The site will use the geocaching.com APIs. That's the language in the background that just makes things work. And it'll update your information all on its own. One of the cons is that your stats may not have, well, today's information or this week's information if you're a non-paying Project GC member. But so your geocaching.com profile stat bar may show different numbers than your stats from Project GC. There's a little time lag, but if you're willing to live with that, it's not too bad. So if you're looking for a set it and forget it kind of method to updating your cache stats, it doesn't require any intervention once you've done it, this is the way to go.
Okay. Yeah, it probably would work fine for me because I haven't found the cache in like 2 weeks or 2 months or so. I don't know. According to my profile page, I have not viewed any caches in the last 10 days at least. So my Project GC stats would probably be
right up to date,
right in sync. It'll be fine, But it does appeal to my laziness factor and the fact that I don't have to go back and update anything.
That's right.
So if you're looking for that, that's a good way to do it.
We'll look at some of the features of it.
Yeah. There's a tab-oriented layout. And who doesn't love a good tab?
Or a chart or a graph.
Yeah. The profile stats, you get a tab-oriented layout automatically. Again, my laziness, this appeals to my laziness. It makes it easier to find what you're looking for, and it keeps it consistent between different profiles. If you have a tab that isn't used, it's automatically hidden. So if you have 0 hides, like I currently have 0 active hides, the hides tab will not be shown. I assume that means active hides.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. It also has a DT chart. Easily show you how many finds you have for each of the 81 different DT combinations. And you can toggle it between the most common cache types. So if you're trying to do your fizzy for mystery caches, it's got you covered.
Okay. I hear the DTs are pretty tough.
A tab says MC3 cats. I'd rather have a Coke. I mean, a Diet Coke.
Can't give you a tab until you order something. You just fall off the boat.
I love it.
Another really nice feature is spam. Oh, wait, no, I read it backwards. That's maps. It's also the last book of the Bible. You can get auto-generated maps of your finds. World maps, continent maps, country maps. They're all created for you. And, that's a lot of work to do on your own. So this is really cool that it happens all in the background. The country maps can be toggled to show which regions and counties you have logged a cache in within that country.
Help you with maybe a challenge you're working for, right? It'll show you.
Sounds like a challenge.
Ooh. How about first to finds? It automatically, as you said earlier, detects your first to finds from tags in your logs. Now, you do have to put a tag in there, right? I believe it's like hard bracket, FTF close bracket, or squiggly brackets. I can't remember which one. It's one of those.
I don't know. I've never done that, so I don't know.
I did it once just to when it first came out. I was like, oh, okay, let's go back and try to figure out which ones were my first to finds. And then once you have that in there, it will parse that and count your first to finds for you. Right. So you do have to go put it in to begin with. But once you've done that, it'll keep a running total.
Okay. Well, another thing that goes hand in hand with stats is attributes, because sometimes you like to know, I don't know, well, how many park and grabs did I have? How many night only caches did I find? You can see which attributes you have logged and how many you have logged of each attribute. And under that Hedge tab, you can also see which attributes you have used on your own caches. So that can be kind of fun, especially if there's a unique type of cache or a unique aspect of a cache that you really enjoy. You can drill down and filter in on that.
You know what? We've got a lot of people that must use this because GSM times 2 says the square brackets FTF is official, but others work. I use asterisk FTF asterisk.
Okay, easy for you to say.
Says either you can tag your logs with one of these, curly asterisk FTF, curly bracket FTF, or square bracket FTF. Alternatively, you can add an FTF bookmark list under settings that will be checked once per day.
So much helpful information.
I know.
I never have to worry about it because I prefer to let somebody else do the bushwhacking and find it first, and then I just go follow along after them. But Briarlang adds his FTFs to a bookmark list.
This is so much easier than what I was doing all these years. So much for my spreadsheets. Speaking of spreadsheets, it also keep track of finds by found date. Get a chart over which dates you have found caches on. There's also another chart showing which hidden dates you have found caches on.
Dates are fun. Calendar grids. Keep track of those kind of things. I think
dates are delicious.
Yes. Bad dates. And it lets you see things that are coming up. Interesting dates like recent Leap Day. That was fun. And badges. Who doesn't love badges? Badge Gen. Well, it's been implemented with permission from the author of Badge Gen. Here you can find which badges you have, including state badges. The Badge Gen belt is, of course, also included.
Go ahead and say it.
Thank you. I knew somebody would say, we don't need no stinking badges.
Oh, look at this. Also, if FTF is the first 3 characters of your log, it counts the FTF.
So if I just always put FTF as the first 3 letters of my log,
thanks for fun.
I can say FTF would have been fun, but instead I found this 2 months later. TFTC.
Yeah.
And then Project GC will add that to my stats as FTFs. Okay.
That was easy, right?
I'm going to start doing that now.
GSM times 2 says GCHQ owes Project GC a huge thank you. Many people are driven by the Project GC stats.
That's true. And I mentioned earlier that Project GC is free if you have a geocaching.com account, but they have a premium level too. And they've just got so many cool gadgets and gizmos there. It's worth supporting them.
Yeah. It's $30 a year, just like your geocaching account. So yeah, it's, if you're into using it, it is far and away worth the value. There you go. You just put FTFTC.
I like that. Finally, the thanks, fully thanked for the cache, or I don't know.
There you go.
All right. Tell us about Badge Gen. Where did it come from?
Okay. Badge Gen. Badge Gen has been around a long time. Started out as a GSAC macro and it was later integrated into Project GC. It includes it's included as a tab in the profile stats. Now, there are discounts for multi-year Project GC subscriptions.
Good to know.
There are 45 badges in total, each with 8 different qualities. We'll get into those in a moment. Most of them can be looped, i.e. getting double diamond or more, right? After reaching diamond status, the user enables the possibility for loops for some badges. Once a user has received twice the requirement for diamond, they'll get a circle with the number 2 in it at the top right corner. Some badges are not possible to loop at all, and some have a loop limit of 9. Others, 99. So once a user has Ruby or higher, they unlock add-ons. Add-ons are what have been important here in the last week, just to let you know. When achieving the status of a gem badge, not a gym badge, but a gem badge, and I'll let you list the types of badges here in a minute. The user has unlocked the ability or the possibility of add-ons. Several badges can have mini badges added to them, and these are called add-ons. For example, the traditional cacher, that badge, will get a nice 366 add-on if the user has logged a geocache of the type traditional on every day of the calendar.
Interesting.
Make sense?
Yeah.
The
Sounds
original
complicated.
It kind of is, yeah. The original idea with add-ons is they were supposed to be something the user could work on after they had reached their diamond level. So with that, I'll let you tell people what the levels are.
There are lots of add-on levels, but before we jump into those, I want to just scroll back a second and say you ran right past GSAC macro, and I know a lot of veteran prolific caches here are very familiar with that, but maybe somebody's just joining the hobby. GSAC is an acronym for the Geocaching Swiss Army Knife, which was a set of software tools, or was it a website? I honestly don't know. And is it still around?
It's software. Downloads to your computer. Downloads to a PC.
Okay. And is it still around and active tool? Okay.
I believe it's still active.
Because I know people that had lots of fun playing with that and different macros and scripts and things that you could use to parse all of your geocaching find data, logs, etc., and create some of these stats that now Project GC makes it so much easier to do. Yeah, MC3 Cat says it's still active.
Okay. There will be no new features added to the freeware version. Support will continue for a limited time via volunteers on the forum. So GSAC is freeware. You can go download it. Absolutely free. Okay. Under the hood, it's all about GPS Babel, right? So that's I can't remember the cacher name who came up with GPS Babel. He's in the Northwest here.
Okay.
Developed it. I almost got it. Robert Line. Anyway, it just came to me. Maybe Robert Lind, something. Anyway, he came up with GPS Babel, which was just a command line tool, right? You had to structure your commands into it to get something out of it.
Like writing a nice SQL query.
Exactly. And then GSAC came out. Robert Leip. There you go. Chief Babblehead.
Cool.
And I knew it was something like that. And now GSAC is a tool you download, creates a database, but it's all GUI interface, right? It's all, you click your buttons and you take your chances.
Roll your dice, move your mice, nobody gets hurt.
Exactly. You can set it up to go get your MyFinds query on a regular basis. You know, I used to use it. It would set up and it would pull my email. So when a new pocket query came into my email, it would pull it out and stick it in there and use it. It was like, that's really cool. I don't even have to take the time to open these things up, save them, and import. Yeah. It'll do it automatically if you give it permission to look into your email. So anyway, GSAC macros are incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And there's still a very active community that can help you to write a GSAC macro if you look for one. I don't know if you ever need to have one developed because there's so many out there. It probably covers anything you want to do.
Right. There's lots of comments in the chat about it's still around. It's freeware. It's supported by volunteers. It's just not under active development by the original authors. So
there you go.
gsak.net if you're looking for it. So if you're nerdy at all, go have some fun with that. I hear it's really cool to do. So back to the badge gen and creating add-ons. After you have your diamond, you can get the add-ons, and there are levels, and they go from bronze through silver and then gold. And unlike the Olympics, they continue on to platinum, ruby, sapphire, emerald, and diamond. So
that's right. And ruby, from ruby, sapphire, emerald, and diamond, those are called gem badges.
Gem badges. There you go. And then you can get the double diamond and the EDC club. And no, that's a different thing. Never mind.
But a black diamond? So, February 29th, huge date in geocaching because you can get a little Feb 29 add-on badge to many of your, I thought I heard a phone ringing. I apologize. I paused there for a moment. And I thought, no, you can't do that during the podcast. Okay. You can get a February 29th add-on badge to many of your, existing badges, right? Or the little add-on. And that's what people are looking for, right? You've got to get so many to go from one level to the next. So there you have it. I'm still hearing like a phone ringing very faintly.
Oh, you know what that is? My dog is snoring.
Oh,
I bet that's what you're hearing.
Okay, there you go.
Hey, wake up.
Is your dog voice activated?
Come here. Come on. He's like, dude, I was sleeping. What do you want? He's got to get groggy and stretch his legs here. Come here.
That is funny that I could hear that just ever so slightly. And it was just I kept looking over at my phone. Like, no, it's dark. Nothing's happening.
There he is. Say hi. He's like,
hello, snoring dog.
He goes, I was sound asleep. I don't know how I got here, but yeah. He's usually crashed in the other room during the podcast night, but he wanted to be in here tonight, so I thought, oh, I'll let him stay. So
okay.
All right.
No worries. I'll ignore that.
So yep. Nope. Tux is now contributing to the podcast.
Hi, Tux.
He's not contributing to my geocaching find count, but yeah, just sometimes too. So he looks very confused, and I'm sure he is because he's like, I don't know what's going on here, but all right, go back to sleep.
Is his snoring your ringtone?
No.
Okay,
but I could make that.
I should get that as my ringtone now because I've got it in my head. Oh,
I'm just glad the podcast doesn't smell of vision because, well, he's a Boston.
He's like, what am I doing here? Hey, I was sleeping.
Yeah. Hey, he's a dog. He'll be back to sleep in no time.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still standing there looking confused. Like, what just happened?
GSM times 2 has a handout on basic GSAC presentation from GeoCoinFest in Long Beach. He says the basic handout. And this is beyond the basic handout.
Oh, cool.
So there's a couple of links there if you want those. Maybe I should have held the first one up there longer.
Just go find the YouTube video, scroll into however many minutes we're in here, like 45 minutes in.
5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, and they'll be on the screen. Mm-hmm. Or they'll be in the chat. You can just click on them.
Heather likes him, just to let you know.
We like him too.
There you go. Go ahead, freshen up your caches, freshen up your geocaching.com profile page, and get ready for spring because it's coming whether you like it or not. And perhaps during the spring equinox, you can go out and find 3 caches. And maybe those 3 caches will cause you to get a loop in your badge gen profile.
That's
you know,
awesome.
there's also a little table there because, all kids like graphs and tables, showing you how many finds you've had up to, to get through each one of those the precious metal and gem levels, and then how many you need for the next loop. So in case you want to know, I'm 61% of the way to find my next traditional loop.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could help you with some goal setting, or,
without a doubt.
A little late in the year for New Year's resolutions, but, resolutions and goals are always fun to play with anyway.
And now I have to go find that. Where is that? I had it up earlier, but now I've lost it.
Look it up in the after show.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But folks, thank you so much for taking the time to stick with us.
Yeah.
Even with a few unusual distractions.
It's the first time for everything.
Yes, exactly.
But something that's not the first time, well, take a moment and thank Land Sharks and Gold Country Geotourism. We thank them every week because we really appreciate them. They're our corporate Denali level sponsors. Landsharks.ca, don't you know, is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. You can check them out online or in person. They ship online orders daily, and they'll hand you your merchandise in person if you're there. So there you go. And of course, for absolutely amazing geocaching adventures outdoors and all over, go check out exploregoldcountry.com. I'd like to thank our faithful Denali level supporters, the rest of them. That's Landsharks, Gold Country Geotourism, Groovy Owl, Cool Cow Cachers, and Cachely, the geocaching app. If you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link. It's somewhere, I don't know, up, down, left, or right. It's on the cachingnw.com website.
Like the Flagman did. Flagman.
The Flagman and the Subway Mark.
Sege Hove.
Oh, hang on. I just moved my window and it jumped behind the other window. I lost my place. How about just finding our way?
Nervous Energies.
M-Nerve.
Oh, I see a pattern. Wet Coaster.
Kid Vegas 19.
Boomer 365.
RE54321.
I got a question. Is Boomer 365 just outdated this year? Should it be Boomer 366?
Wow.
Anyway.
Is there a leaping boomer?
Oh, is there a leaping boomer? Don't know. Hey, what about gas station tuna?
How about Team Noltex? Recent guest on the show.
Kev MacD.
J Carr.
A new one, GeoBirder.
Another recent new one, Railroad.
Peach, usually of Washington.
Yeah. Baseball season's coming. She'll be back in Washington soon, I'm sure. Butterfly Girl.
Trexer.
Seebeck Tribe.
Dora Moore.
Antaeus.
Mountain Bike.
GeoNav Pro.
Our Robrick.
B Pendragon.
Geocaches.
Logwork.
BC Rock Crawler.
GSM times 2.
CRS 98.
Genies.
MC3 Cats.
Skyhawker.
Green Words.
Kitty Quest.
LG 9000.
Just Carlo. He entered the contest,
Ooh. How about Korsgat?
How about you, Dak?
Limax.
Whidbey Island Gal.
The Camp Clan.
Winos Seattle.
Ackerdoc.
And U-Talks 2 Rocks.
Nice. Folks, thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps quality shows coming. So if you like the show, please click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website. Now, if you didn't like the show, let us know what you want us to talk about. But if you like the vibe, please subscribe wherever you get your podcast and give us a review. I say that every week, but it can really help you out right now. Now, if you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fast, fabulous, fantastic 5-star review. Of course, you can call into 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask us a question, or help us out with our badges. Get that next loop any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Now, join us live every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, whether that be standard or daylight savings time. It's still going to be at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show and chat. This show is produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, Jay Kennedy, and Brian Lang. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Copyright 2024 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
the after show.
The after show. Brian Lang likes the vibe.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I just noticed? Well, I noticed it earlier today. The little wrenches show up now.
Look at that.
Those are the little wrenches from the YouTube chat for, what do they call them? Moderators.
So let's see. If I look at my profile stats, badge gen, I have 37 badges.
There's 45 total. I have 43. Yeah, I've lost that page now. Yeah, see, I opened up all the information pages and I lost my login page.
Well, I see in the chat, GSM times 2 says, Fatas, who did what with Project GC Feb 29 add-ons? And Briarlang says he found 3 new Leap Day add-ons for the Attribute Cache, Environmental Cacher, CITO, and Lab Cacher. Oh, and earned Leap Day add-ons for Where I Go, Letterboxer, Earth Cacher, Odd Size, Micro, Brainiac, Traditional, Mysterious, Virtual, actually Virtual, Social, Small, Regular, Large, Rugged, all those back in 2020.
Wow.
That's why it was Virtual, because 2020 was that year that didn't happen.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, I'm supposed to share my screen. So, hold on. Hold, please. Here we go. So there's my badge gen stats, right? See, I'm a caching veteran, and I have a little number 2 there. I don't know why. Oh, because I've been finding caches in 20 or more different years.
I have that one as well.
Got the calendar cacher 366. I have the environmental, so that I have a CETO on the 29th. I have a letterbox on the 29th. I have an odd size and a micro and a small and a regular on the 29th. I think that's all I have.
I think I only have, and my only 29th is Social Cacher, because I did an event on Leap Day 4 years ago. I didn't do any caching this Leap Day.
Okay, so here, let me stop sharing my screen so we're not competing. GSM times 2 says I got many 29 Feb add-ons in 2020. This year I got 4. Host an event, attend a CETO, find AL. Was that event? How come I don't see Adventure Lab? Am I missing it?
And D5. Qualify for 5 and 5.
D5. Yeah.
Reach the gem level.
So I don't see anything about Adventurous Cacher. No, that's the DT.
You only get add-ons for badges that are greater than Ruby. So Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and Diamond.
Okay. Yeah, so here's I'm looking at my medals rather than my gems. You can check your countries as well. And JCAR already has plans for 2028.
All right. Does anybody have plans for a 2 a.m. Sunday event for Spring Forward?
Ooh. I think we've said before that we were going to do it. And
well, it's the fall that is really the fun one, because you could have an hour-long event that takes 0 time.
That's true.
But I just wondered if somebody would host a companion event for the Spring Forward.
Oh, Bryling says in 2028, I need to go to a mega or giga that is hosting a GPS maze. Ooh, that would be good. That's why Seebeck Tribe went to the Texas mega on the 29th. I bet there is.
Could be.
There's one in Cleveland, and I'm thinking of going.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Hey, Brylang, why don't you just host a mega on 2028? You got 4 years to plan it.
I mean,
how hard could it be?
That's how long it takes for, some people to host a Geo Woodstock is 4 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to buy a vowel, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, folks, thank you so much for joining us. And until next week, get out and get caching in the Northwest.